Hey everyone, it's Kyle. Welcome back to our podcast. It's been a while since our last episode, but Abby and I are both excited to reconnect with this platform. Over the last 2 years, a lot has happened and we've got plenty to catch you up on. And the following conversation is a recap on what we've been up to since our last episode. We hope you enjoy. Okay, so last podcast, when was it?
Our last podcast.
That we put out, because we did record some that never saw the light of day.
Yes. So it was the summer of 2022.
Yeah, I think we filmed it. Wasn't it like the day before I left the condo?
Oh, yeah, it might have been.
Or moved out?
I think you moved out on a Tuesday. That's crazy. Okay, yeah. So the last podcast that we put out was recorded July 2022, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I actually can't believe it's been over 2 years.
2 years and 1 month.
Crazy.
Roughly. So yeah, what have we been up to? How would you recap the last 2 years? What's new with us?
Okay, well, I'm gonna start from the.
Let's.
We're gonna start from July 2022.
Well, let's recap like where we were at that point, right? Real quick. Yeah. So like we had been dating for a year and a month. Mm-hmm. Started the podcast.
Yep.
That was fun. We both enjoyed that. I know, like, I feel like we've both missed podcasting and we've talked about getting back into it. Yeah. I mean, we never really wanted to take a break.
Yeah.
But when I was living at home again, there just wasn't a lot of time or space to film it. Like, as I mentioned before, like we had a couple episodes that we filmed in different places. We did one in my car. We did one at the house.
Yeah.
And then we also did one at the family cottage. But those never saw the light of day. I mean, I could put them out still, like as like bonus episodes.
Yeah, they're in the vault as of right now.
But anyway, so I moved back home.
Closer to me.
Closer to you, 15 minutes away.
Yeah, which was delightful.
Yep.
Because the drive before was like.
Yeah, that was. I went on a rant about that earlier.
A solid 30.
Yeah, it was like
on a good night.
Without traffic, I feel like it was 30 minutes, but you're right. At that time, no, it was like 35.
Yeah.
Best case scenario was 35 minutes. Like door to door kind of.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, it long drive. I have complained about it in the past to you, but in hindsight, like it was nice. I know you enjoyed driving through the city when I would take you home. I loved
it. Yeah.
And there was some solace that I enjoyed myself on the way back, listening to music, podcasts, whatever. And then whenever I would get home, I would just like instantly crash. You know, sometimes it was like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Not often, but like sometimes.
Every now and then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't allowed to stay up that late.
Yeah.
It was on rare occasions.
Yeah. No, I mean, you always said that, but like I had you late sometimes. I feel like you were on a tighter schedule, like when I moved closer.
I don't remember. I always feel like it was a tight schedule, but you're right. Like there's definitely some times where, wow, that's crazy to think about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
so
I can go on about that.
I moved back home. What happens? What's some significant?
The significant update
here. Yeah.
July 2022. Yeah. So in December of 2022. I was spoken for. I was proposed to. Kyle popped the question.
Yep.
We got engaged.
A year and a half into dating.
He put a ring on it.
Yeah, he did. I did. It was something that we both knew was coming. I mean, we've talked about it.
I think we talked about it like...
a lot.
Yeah, we definitely... Like 6 months in, I think, is the first time it came up.
Yeah.
And then maybe again at a year.
Yeah. So a little Easter egg that I don't think I've mentioned on the podcast before, but at the beginning of 2022, we had a conversation and I had mentioned that I would be proposing this year.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It was literally that. I think it was January. It was literally January.
Right. And before I had told you, I had told 2 of your best friends. Mm-hmm. I gave them the month.
Yeah, they had a very specific. They had more specific.
Yeah, I knew I was going to do it in December.
Yeah, all kinds.
But I was a little cheeky with you, and I was like, "Oh yeah, this year."
Yeah, Kyle. I remember like it was like a couple weeks into, it was like maybe 2 weeks into January. We were just lounging in the condo, and out of nowhere just goes, I already know what month I'm proposing.
Yeah.
And I was like, you can't see my face, but it was like
Excited.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mouth.
Okay, so yeah, like it wasn't necessarily a surprise, but I think that's like
But I only knew it was happening that year. That's all I
right,
know.
right. I mean, some people may argue like that it still ruins the surprise, but I think like our relationship was always built on like, I mean, maybe some would call it over communication. I think it just works for us.
That's definitely not like something I was not the kind of girl who was like eager to be surprised about that.
Right.
I
like you need that commitment confirmation.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure I was the one who brought it up 6 months. I was like, so like, when would you propose
Right,
if
and
you wanted to marry me?
Yeah, and I rightfully so. I think
My dad taught me that.
I think that's a very wise thing for him to teach you.
Yeah, my dad taught me not to wait around for a man to make a decision, even though like we are very like traditional and very conservative, and the man does ultimately like make that call. But he told me not to wait for a man to make a decision that would impact my life so greatly.
Right.
So yeah, I was not the kind of girl who wanted that type of surprise.
And for me, when it came to our relationship, it was something that I really wanted to do. Like if I told you that I was going to do something, it was important for me to follow through with it, right?
Yeah.
And just like if I gave you a date, or verbally confirming that like, I was going to propose.
Yeah.
And like I said, I always knew it was going to be December, but I let you go the whole year, not knowing what month it was going to be.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, do you want to kind of recap, I guess, the months leading up to the proposal from your perspective?
Yeah. So from my perspective, I'm going to be honest. There was, I can't remember now exactly, but there were some significant like dates, or like there was some dates that were significant to our relationship where that's when I thought you were going to propose. I thought it was either going to be our anniversary, like our 1 year anniversary.
Yep. June 5th.
Yeah. That was around the time where I was like, oh, maybe no. And then after that, I thought,
Did you ever think my birthday?
maybe for like a second, but then I thought no.
Yeah, I think that would have been weird.
Yeah.
But my birthday does have significance because that's like when I told you I loved you the first time.
Yeah, that's right.
So I maybe thought that like, oh, maybe you would think
Yeah, maybe
I would do it around that time.
Yeah, maybe for a second I did think so.
But like, just to obviously put the record straight, like I would not do that.
No.
Yeah, I think that's a little weird.
Yeah, it's nice when it's its own like separate.
Exactly.
Even though an anniversary I think is like still, but yeah, anything else I think.
Anniversary for sure.
Yeah, anything else is a little weird. There was even, I think, when we went to the cottage.
Right.
When we went to the cottage that year, I thought it might be then. Yeah, there was maybe like 2 or 3. There's probably like a third one that I can't remember right now because maybe we did something really nice and I thought like, oh, maybe this is the time. But and then also naturally, if like Kyle said he was going to propose during that year, so the closer we got to the end of the year, I'm like, well, I mean, it's got to be.
Did you ever were you ever worried that it wasn't going to happen?
Yeah, I guess like I did eventually. I think probably by like October, November, I did have to like open myself to the possibility.
Right.
Something had changed. But I always like even when I was like considering that possibility, it was always going to be like a logistics thing.
Yeah.
Like it's not necessarily you didn't want to marry me anymore. It was just something else. Like you had like a different date in mind. You're waiting for something else. You had to get the ring. You had to plan like a whole thing. If it wasn't going to be that year, I figured it would still be soon. And then also, I probably would have like said something.
Oh, I mean, I feel like one of us. I even feel like I probably would have.
Yeah, I figured though if like you weren't
started that conversation,
Yeah.
if something had gone down.
Yeah. But no, I wasn't too concerned. There was a part of me that like thought it might be December. Like I remember having like conversations with my mom because my mom used to also be like,
So what?
Any ideas? Like, did he give any hints? Is he acting suspicious? Like, she would be like,
So wait, why did you think it could be December?
I thought it was December because you saw how obsessed I was with Christmas
Yeah.
that one year. And like, literally in January is when you were like, I know what I'm going to propose.
Yeah, that was the reason. The reason I chose December is because it's Christmas time and that's your favorite time of the year.
Yeah, I've said that, yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, to be fair, like it wasn't a lot. It wasn't a lot to go off of. So I didn't think much of it like towards the beginning of the year. But probably the latter half of the year, I was definitely it's possible it's literally just going to be December because he knows how much I love December. He knows how much I love Christmas time.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that. I remember being a little, like anybody else, like you make your guesses.
Yeah.
And I had a couple, like I was saying earlier, I had a couple of dates like throughout the year that I thought it might be. And when it wasn't those dates, I was like pretty much just waiting until December.
Yeah.
But like you played it so well.
And you obviously knew I wasn't going to do it in October because that was my brother's wedding, Justin and Lana's wedding.
Yeah.
No shot I would have done it.
Of course.
Yeah. Like that would have been crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I mean, I know you a lot better now in retrospect, but I was like, Kyle's never proposed before. I don't really know how he's going to go about this. But there was a chance I was like, does Kyle want to get proposed like before the wedding? But then I was like, no, because that's like a pretty easy announcement to make. Like you see like, all the people you know there. But I was like, no, that'd be crazy.
Like, quick side note, I don't know if you've seen this, but I've seen like Instagram reels where the bride during the bouquet toss
just walks over.
will just walk up to one of the guests or the bridesmaids or whoever.
Yeah.
Hand her the bouquet.
Yeah.
Bouquet.
I say bouquet.
Bouquet.
Okay. Yeah,
and then their significant other like comes out of the crowd and proposes.
Yeah.
Like, what are your thoughts on that?
I think it definitely depends on the person.
Yeah. Maybe if you're like super close,
yeah,
then it could work.
Like I'm thinking like a friendship like Sam and I.
Yeah.
Long time friends. Like like any of my bridesmaids, I think like I was close enough with them that like I wouldn't mind.
I don't think it would have bugged me. Like I don't think I would have cared, to be honest.
I don't think also like if you typically do the bouquet toss by the end of the night.
Yeah.
Like we did it. Oh, spoiler alert. We got married already.
Yeah. That's fine.
Anyways, like if you typically do it by the end of the night, your wedding is like done. You had your whole day.
Yeah.
I don't think any of the girls that I made a bridesmaid, I have that type of relationship with them that I wouldn't have minded.
Right.
So yeah, I mean it definitely depends on the relationship first and foremost. And also I think it depends on like who the other couple is. Like are they going to be the kind of couple to steal the thunder or like to steal the spotlight? Right. Like make the whole thing about them now, or are they going to be a little more like subdued about it? Yeah. Because there's some people who like, of course, like getting engaged is like a milestone and a monumental moment in everybody's life. But some people are just more low key. Some people are just a little more like ostentatious. Yeah. With that kind of stuff, so it depends. I don't think it's like a one size fits all answer.
Definitely not. People, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so October happens. Justin and Lana get married.
Yeah, Kyle's going around telling everybody because everyone's like, "Oh, when's it your turn? When's it your turn?" He was like, "This year."
Yeah. I was saying that, and just to touch on that again, I don't think it would have been like that. It was like a 3-month window that I wasn't going to do it. I mean, obviously, I already knew I was doing it in December.
Yeah.
And obviously, I already knew like
it just worked out really well
that they were going to get married in October. Mm-hmm. Like I knew that like a year and a half in advance.
Yeah.
But yeah, like it was never going to be September, October, or November.
Yeah.
Like that was just had to have been blocked off. Yeah. Right. So anyway, we get through that. They had a great wedding.
Yeah. Perfect.
And then we go to December. Again, I'll let you kind of continue from like your perspective, and then like maybe I'll jump in and add some context like as to what I was going through at that time.
Yeah, obviously I knew the bare minimum, obviously, and all I can speak on is, at this, like all I can speak on is the day it happened.
Before you get into the actual day, like is there anything else you want to touch on from your side? Like as it got like as we're into December, are you thinking any differently? Like
No, I was fairly certain it was December. Like I had such a strong feeling because
did you have any idea like what part of December?
no, I just figured like I wouldn't have been crazy if it was like really close to Christmas.
Right.
Like I'm thinking like 22nd, 23rd, 24th, just because like it's so busy with family and stuff.
Right. So I guess I'll jump in and kind of give like my hectic side
Yeah.
of the proposal. So yeah, I knew this entire time I was going to propose in December. I didn't exactly know how I was going to do it until, I mean, honestly, like a week before. I think I always kind of knew where I wanted to do it, but logistically,
Like you had your
logistically, like I didn't know if it made sense at that time of the year due to weather.
Mhm.
I wanted to do it at Centennial Hill, which is where we met. Not met, but that's where we had our first date.
first time meeting in person.
First time meeting in person. I mean, like,
That's what we did.
yeah, we met in a parking lot, but then we went there.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got coffee. We went there, and we hung out there for a couple hours.
Oh.
So yeah, so that was like significant to us. That place is also like it's kind of significant to me. Like it's always just been a place that I've gone to walk around, like clear my head.
Yeah, like when you suggested it even for a first date, like it was already like important to you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. So anyway, that's where I wanted to do it. But I, again, didn't know how I wanted to do it or the logistics of it literally until the day before, I think. And I'll get into that. But quickly, I went through, I guess, a phase of, I don't want to say uncertainty, but it was a little bit of chaos when it came to getting the ring. Obviously, the ring is a bigger expense.
Even in addition to like the financing, like you also have to like research
Yeah.
what you're gonna get because like it's for a lot of people a lifelong investment. Like it's the ring you intend to wear for the rest of your life.
Right. Which I was thankful that like you had offered.
Yeah.
You, Harjot, and Lara had offered to help me with that.
Yeah, I was so on board with just picking my own ring, because I had heard some. I don't want to. It's dramatic to say horror stories, but have you ever heard of these like in couples like. It's particularly men because it's usually like just jewelry related, but I'm sure there's some sort of like equivalent that like can be that occurs to men. But the jewelry thing is like you're a girl and you like always wear gold jewelry, and then like the one time your man buys you jewelry, it's like silver, and you're like, I like literally never wear silver jewelry.
Right.
Not that I thought Kyle was gonna do that. I'm sure he would have. Even if I said like I'm not picking my ring, you surprised me. Like I want to be Tyler's surprise. Pretty sure you still would have done your like due diligence. But I just know how much more stressful that would be for you.
Yeah.
Versus like I'm very eager to get my dream ring. Like
right.
why would I let something get in the way of me getting my dream ring?
Yeah, absolutely. And I was thankful for that. So I already knew what I was going to get as far as like shape, cut, size.
Yeah.
Right. Then it was just a matter of like securing the finances and then just making the purchase. Right.
Yeah.
So step one, securing the finances was tough for me at that point.
Yeah.
I was freelancing, so contract jobs. There was one job that I was doing that perpetuated over months.
Mm-hmm.
And if you remember, there was
really giving you a hard time. Yeah.
They just weren't paying me.
Yeah.
And it was months worth of work.
Yeah.
And the date just kept getting pushed and pushed and pushed, right? And it wasn't just me who was affected. It was other people who were involved in the project as well. I was supposed to get paid in late August. And, I needed that for the purchase.
Yeah.
September comes around, October comes around. I'm emailing them like bi-weekly at this point. And the occurrence at which I was emailing them would increase the longer it got and the closer it got to December, right?
Yeah, it's getting pretty frequent, yeah.
It was like November like 15th or 17th and still nothing. And I'm panicking at this point because this is what I needed to secure the ring. I reached out again and I'm like, I was fed up. I was frustrated.
I don't know if it was dramatic, but I was like, do we need to look into legal action?
Yeah, I mean, honestly. But anyway, thank God I got the payment in late November. Mm-hmm. And now I'm in like okay, like I'm in panic mode a little bit here. I'm like, I need to like secure the ring, right?
Yeah.
So I'm looking around online, like reading up on like quality and size and all the stuff that I mentioned before that, like things that you wanted on the ring.
Yeah.
Finally locked down a place, put in the order. I think they needed like 3 weeks
Yeah.
to kind of get it like together for me. And at this point, like it's like late November, right? So I'm kind of cutting it close. It's also like around Christmas time. So I'm like wondering, is this going to impact? Like, are there going to be delays?
Yeah.
Like, is this the season to propose? Like, I don't know.
Honestly, like December is a very popular, the holidays are a very
Right.
popular time to propose, yeah.
So after 2.5 weeks go by, like I'm sending them a message saying like, can you guarantee me that it's going to be done when you said it was going to be done, right? Which I think at that point was like December 11th. That was like around the time, which is like cutting it close,
Yeah.
right? And they're ensuring me that yes, like whatever, like yes, like it'll be ready. Wasn't ready until the 15th. So I didn't end up picking it up until the 15th.
Crazy. Kyle called me like on his way there, but told me he was going to like Walmart or something.
Yeah.
So I was fully like on the phone with him when he was picking up the ring. He was like, hang on, I'm just going to go to Walmart for a second.
Yeah. So I secure the ring. For me, it was like one step at a time. Like I hadn't thought about how I was going to propose until after I got the ring. So once I got the ring and like that kind of weight was off my shoulders, it was time to plan how I was going to do this. Spoiler alert, I ended up proposing on the 19th. And I picked the 19th intentionally because I like that number. The day before, literally the day right before, I am considering Centennial Park. Like I said, it was a priority spot.
Number one, yeah.
Number one spot to go to. So anyway, the day before, around like 8 or 9 at night, I am like, I'm going to go to Centennial Park and I'm going to go scope it out and I'm going to go see like, how are we going to do this logistically? Because like we're in Canada, it's the wintertime, it's cold. My mom also came with me. Like she wanted to come.
Yeah. Did you mention there was like, there was a snowstorm recently? Like there was just like a huge, like a bunch, it snowed so much like leading up to that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it was snowing the day of. Mm-hmm. So like my mom and I, like we're bundled up. We get to the hill. We kind of notice like that it's really icy and it's also like coming down, like it's snowing and there's no lights like at the bottom or at the top of the hill.
Yeah.
Like you're just lit up by the sky, which I think was kind of cloudy.
Yeah. Sometimes not a lot. Yeah.
So we like climb up the hill, like my mother and I have a recording of it.
She's such a trooper.
Yeah. So we climb up the hill and we're looking around and it's kind of looking bleak. I don't know. Like I can't see your friends like coming up this hill. Like I feel it's not that I couldn't see them doing it, but
it's kind of like a big ask.
It was a big ask.
Yeah.
I was like, man, like, am I going to do this to like them? Am I going to do this to my sister-in-law? Like,
yeah,
this is, this is a big ask.
Big ask.
We look at the top of the hill, my mom and I, and ultimately we're like, you know what? Like, we'll go find another place, right? We go back down the hill and her and I, like, we go drive to like different places that I'm brainstorming, like as I'm in the car to go to and as like a backup option, right?
Yeah.
So we go to, a couple spots on Lakeshore. We go to Tannery Park, which is also significant to us.
Yeah.
We've gone on a few dates there. I went to like quote unquote the spot, which is a place that you and I used to go hang out near your place just to get some like peace and quiet.
Yeah.
Lastly, my mom had suggested a spot kind of near our house. It's nice, but it wasn't really significant to us at all.
Yeah.
Right. So yeah, I get back home and I just can't decide. So I sleep on it. Wake up the next morning, clear skies. I talked to Justin actually, and I'm like, hey, like I went to Centennial last night. It's kind of icy. Like I feel bad asking like Lana and the girls to come up the hill. And he's ultimately, I think, the reason why I ended up going through with it, because he was like, if you want to do it, like we'll make it happen. Once I had that like reassurance that like they were in favor of doing it the way I wanted to do it, like
the way that like was the most significant.
Yeah, then I felt like then I like snapped into action. Right.
This is like how Kyle does his best work.
Yeah, I do my best work when my back's against the wall and I have like no time.
Yeah.
So it's morning time. Like I didn't sleep much last night, the night prior. So like 9 a.m. I go to Centennial Park.
Yeah.
I climb the hill with my coffee in hand, slip and fall on the way up. Or was it back on the way down? I fell.
Yeah.
I fell. Nobody saw, thankfully. It was embarrassing. But anyway, like I take my phone out and I start recording and talking. And my plan was to make a video.
You went up like the literal hill, not like around.
No, I went up like the shortcut, like the dangerous. It was icy.
Yeah, there's like a path you can take that's like longer, or you can go like just right up the hill, but it's really steep.
Right. So I go up the hill. There's a rock at the top where I was like, that's where it's got to be. It's like the only spot, right? The rock that we sat on our first date. I'm like, okay, it's going to be there. My phone's out and I'm recording like instructions and like basically giving a rundown of how I want it to go down. And I was going to use this video to send to the group chat, the people who were going to be involved in helping me set this up, right? Yeah. Go back home, edit this video together with like subtitles on it and like all this, just because I wanted like it to be clear as day, like how I wanted it to go down. Yeah. Send the video out to the group chat by noon. Everybody watches it, like they're on board. They're like they know the game plan. I'm like, okay, perfect, right? Yeah.
We're also coordinating like with Nick, our photographer. It was like
he was in the group chat. Yeah. So yeah, like
I totally forgot. Like in addition to like our like friends and family going up the hill. Yeah. There was like these our Telltale. Yeah. Our videographer friends hoisting up all of their like equipment and stuff too.
Which like that was also like I'll kind of go into that. Like we got really lucky. One of my good friends, Nick, like he's a photographer. He does weddings. Mm-hmm. I asked him if he would be able to take pictures because that was one of your like only requests was that like there was photos of it.
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah.
Not that like you thought it was gonna be professional photos, but like you just wanted somebody.
Yeah, literally anybody with a phone. Like that's what I had in mind.
Yeah.
I just wanted like either like just like a video on somebody's phone or just photos, something. Yeah. So they'd be able to remember it because.
Yeah. So
I can speak in retrospect, like you black out, but I had a feeling I was gonna do that, so I was like, I just need to like look back.
Right, exactly. So Nick sends me a message. He's like, "Hey, I have a couple of friends who, you know, work. They do videography for weddings. They used to work for the company that I worked at, but now they're branching off and they're starting their own company called Telltale Films, right? And they want to. They're asking if they can be a part of this, film the proposal, and use it for content on their page because they need promo work to promote themselves, right? Yeah. I was like, yeah, absolutely. Like that's awesome, right?
It is such a big favorite.
Yeah, and they ended up doing our engagement shoot and also the wedding.
We did have like a plan that day.
Oh yeah, we did.
Yeah, we had like
that was another thing. We had dinner set up.
So we
with the family.
Yes, this was gonna be the first time that like my family was gonna be meeting your family.
Right.
It needed to happen, and I also was like, yeah, I definitely want it to happen before. Like, it didn't have to be like well in advance, but like yeah, before we got engaged or like before we they were only meeting like for like wedding events and stuff.
Right. So that it was like that was also like part of the plan too. We set up that dinner that day, the 19th.
So I did I was just that's all I was expecting that day.
Right, and like, but in my mind, I knew that was a part of the plan. Like, it wasn't just like a meeting dinner; it was also going to be like the congratulatory, like congrats on being proposed dinner. Yes. So we had that to go to at 6:30 or 7.
7, yeah.
7. I go to your house around 4:30. I would say 4:35. Yeah. We hang out for a bit. So how did the proposal go down? Okay. December 19th.
So, well, I'm gonna give like my what I was going through the day before. I was supposed to get my nails done that afternoon with my mom, the Sunday afternoon. Why was my family not home? I was supposed to get my nails.
I think everybody was at work.
It was a Sunday. No, it was a Monday. Yeah. Right, yeah, it was the Monday night. I had an exam on the Saturday. I was supposed to get my nails done on the Sunday. I think the 19th was a Monday. Oh,
really quick aside before you get into the story.
Yeah.
A couple of days before, you went to Rachel's house.
Oh yeah, when was that? I'm sure that's in this account.
For like a Christmas party or something?
Yeah, it was our Christmas get together to like exchange gifts and stuff.
I took that opportunity to go to your parents' house, show them the ring, and also like ask your dad's permission, which is something that like I wanted to do. Yeah. I don't think you outright said that you like required that, but maybe I knew.
No, I think I did.
Did you?
I think I just asked you. I was like, you're gonna ask my dad like or
Oh, you asked me.
Yeah, I was like, you have to ask my dad permission, right? And then you were like, yeah, I know.
Yeah. Anyway, I knew I was gonna do that. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to do that.
Yeah. I said it like,
which was a nice moment, I think. Like I really am glad that, like, obviously I knew I was gonna do it, but I'm just happy with the way it went down. Like it was just nice. Like, you know, we had
he
our
also
moment.
probably knew what he was gonna say. Yes.
Well, yeah, of course, but yeah, it was a good moment for the whole family. Zach said yes to me.
Oh my gosh, this joke will like forever
live.
It just stands out to me so much. It's so funny.
Yeah.
It's so like typically Zach. First of all, like there was already like there was already this running joke. Whenever Kyle and Zach were talking, like whenever Kyle came over to the family, like Zach would always be like, there would always be like this moment where he like makes himself look better than me. And I'm like, Zach, like he's mine. Like
Yeah.
you can't have him. Like I don't know what you're trying to do here. Like that was just like an inside, like a running joke. So there was already that running joke of me being like Zach, like chill, like you stop trying to take my man.
Yeah. So when I like opened the box to reveal the ring, Zach, he just looks at me. He's like, yes.
Oh my God, yes.
Oh my God, yes.
He's so quick with it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's fast forward back to the day of.
Yeah. So it's just so funny. Like I literally had no idea this stuff was happening. Like when Kyle went to go pick up the ring, I'm just going to run into Walmart real quick. Like, hang on. When Kyle went to go take the ring to my family and he asked my dad permission, I was going to my friend Rachel's. And he was like, I'll drive you. Just came out of nowhere to drive me to Rachel's. And then he's just like, I'm just going to stay in the area and I'll drive you back home. Nothing. Nothing clued into me at all.
We didn't get to see each other like that often back then, right? So
we definitely didn't, and it was exam period too. So
right, and I always like
I was a student, and then I was running exams, and yeah.
I like to try to be there for support, like even if it was to drive you somewhere.
Yeah,
like just that.
That's
extra
what I mean.
time.
Like I didn't think much of it because
together, yeah.
Kyle would just sometimes do stuff like that. I wrote my exam. I thought I bombed it. I didn't. I aced it, but I don't know why I thought I bombed it. But then I was like super depressed on Sunday. Didn't get my nails done. I don't know who let me. The fact that my mom knew. Did my mom know what was happening? I forget.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you got your nails done.
No, they look fine in the photos.
Oh, okay.
But actually, I don't know if anybody edited them, but. Yeah,
no, I don't think so.
They're a little grown out, but the color's like neutral enough that it doesn't look bad.
Okay.
But no, I was supposed to get my nails done on the Sunday after church, after my exam. I wrote my exam, went to church. I was supposed to get my nails done, and I didn't go to the appointment because I was so upset about my exam. But that was like another reason I didn't think it was happening. I thought I think I thought there was a chance it was happening New Year's. There was a part of me that thought, yeah, it might be New Year's. So the fact that like no one like was like urging me to go get my nails done, I'm like, okay, well, I mean, that's more reason to not like assume it's happening anytime soon. Lo and behold, it's happening the next day. Apparently, everybody's way more loyal to you than they are to me. Everyone's like, we can't let Abby know the plan's happening, but they're just gonna let me get proposed to with old nails.
Yeah.
It looked fine though. It worked out.
No, I think it looked great. Yeah.
Yeah. So then the day of, it's a Monday, and that's why no one was home. Everybody was at work.
I stopped by at 4:30.
You stopped by at 4:30. And then I started getting ready for dinner because we were going to go together to dinner.
And just as a recap, dinner was at 7. I showed up early. Like we were just going to hang out.
Yeah. So I'm getting ready for dinner. Kyle's kind of pacing. So I thought he was just kind of like nervous for the night. I was like, why is Kyle
Right. Because the families are meeting.
The parents are meeting. Yeah. So Kyle's pacing. I'm getting ready. Kyle's like, it's kind of cold outside. Wear sweatpants. Also, that was crazy.
Did I say that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, should I? It's just because you're so concerned for my well-being. But I was picking out my outfit for dinner, and then Kyle's like, should we go for like a walk somewhere? He's like, let's go for a walk somewhere. He's like, we'll get dressed for dinner, but like before we'll leave early because I want to go like for a walk. I want to walk around somewhere. And so here I am thinking you're just like nervous and like you just like for the dinner and you just want like, you know. So I'm getting ready in my like sweater dress and my tights, and then you're like, maybe you want to like maybe bring your clothes and like wear like sweatpants because if we're gonna be outside it's cold. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll just like wear like my big jacket and my boots. Like I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Your big jacket is really warm.
My big jacket is so warm. That red one.
Yeah.
I wore it to Mono Cliffs when we went in the winter.
Yeah.
Didn't feel a thing. I actually don't wear it on a regular basis because in the winter because it's too hot. So we get ready, we're going, and Kyle's telling me, because your mom goes on like a lot of walks.
Right.
And you're like, oh, I went on a walk with her the other day. Like I went on like take the path that she takes with her. And there was like lights in this park and it's really nice and I want to show you.
Which Side note is the place that she took me to as a suggestion
Yeah.
to propose to you.
Yeah, and so when Kyle said that, I'm like, proposed. I'm getting proposed to.
Yeah.
Like, oh, a quaint park with lights and like, yeah, I'm getting proposed to. We're on the way, we're driving. Kyle goes, you know what? Like, dinner's in like less than an hour. Like, I don't really want to go for a walk. Like, I feel like we're gonna be like gassed. Like, I don't want to do that. And I'm like, okay. Some kind of weird to just cancel your proposal, but okay. To each their own.
Yeah.
So then we pull off of the highway. Kyle's like, oh, we're pretty close to Centennial. Maybe we just like drive by to Centennial to keep killing time. And I was like, okay. And he's like, no, he didn't suggest Centennial yet. He's like, let's just keep driving. We'll just drive around and kill time. But then he's like, let's go get Tim Hortons. So we pull off of the highway, go get Tim Hortons. The Tim Hortons we go to, Kyle's like, oh, we're near Centennial. Maybe we'll just like drive by there. Lana calls.
Yeah.
While we're in the car.
I'm glad you remembered that.
I do. Lana calls and she's like, what time is dinner again? And then Kyle says 7.
Yeah. That phone call was the signal that they were finished setting up the proposal spot.
Yeah.
So when Lana called me, that signified to me that everything's good to go. Like, they're ready.
Yeah. And
Okay.
we were at a Tim Hortons like 5 minutes away.
Exactly.
Not even. But yeah, we were in the drive-thru line. So we get our drinks. We head over to Centennial. Wait, do you want to say like when we drove in, like what was your impression? Because like you noted something that I did not notice at all.
Oh, man. So
Granted, you were looking for it.
yeah, so we took a route that you could see the top of the hill like as you're driving in. And as we're driving in, I noticed that you can't tell what it is, but it's illuminated at the top of the hill. And I was like, and I knew that was for me.
The top of the hill just glowing.
Yeah, and I was like, oh God. So like I'm just thinking like let me just start talking so that Abby doesn't like decide to look around. You know what I mean? I think I don't know if I pointed something out in the other direction.
Like, so one time you were driving down there and there's a golf course or like I guess a driving range.
Oh yeah,
The driving range there, and like maybe like the second or third time we went to Centennial, Kyle pointed out that like his car got hit by a golf ball.
Yeah, we're driving through that exact same spot.
So as we were driving through it, Kyle like points to the total opposite end of the park,
Yeah,
and he's like, "Did I ever tell you that like a golf ball hit my car?
yeah,
There's fully like a dent in the passenger side of the door."
yeah,
I was like, "Oh my god, yeah." I think I forgot. So
yeah.
I didn't think anything of it.
Right. So
Oh, sorry. When Kyle was, I missed my impressions, I guess, like as the night was going on. When Kyle's like, I don't want to go to that park anymore. Let's just keep driving around. I'm thinking, never mind. I'm not getting proposed to today.
yeah,
We pull into Tim Hortons. Kyle's like, oh, like Centennial Park's like pretty close to here. I'm like, oh, I'm getting proposed to. And then we go to Centennial. I'm like, yeah, Kyle's proposing here. But then I'm not picking up on any of the clues or anything because Kyle's distracting me with his golf stories.
exactly. So
Golf ball stories.
I had like all of this was planned,
Yeah.
like as misdirection.
I'll say it because I'll tell you when I thought I like what led me to think I was getting proposed to and what when you kept throwing me off.
Yeah,
So we get to Centennial, but we're not getting out of the car. We're just sitting in the car like killing time, like just talking, drinking our coffees. I think mine was a hot chocolate. Yeah, just talking, like killing time, drinking our hot chocolate. So I'm like, oh, like I'm not getting proposed to today. And then Kyle suggests, he's like, do you want to go up the hill or is that crazy? Like it's like really icy, really snowy, but like I kind of want to go up the hill. I'm like, I'm getting proposed to. We get out of the car. Kyle goes to the trunk and he's like, wait, I'm getting something for you. Don't look. I'm getting proposed to. I'm like, okay, Kyle, you get your little surprise. And then we start like hiking up the hill.
and like really quick too, like we're just chilling at Centennial, like in the parking lot. I'm trying to act as normal as possible, but at the same time, like I know that like your friends and my family are at the top of the hill freezing their asses off waiting for us to get there.
Yeah.
So like I was like towing the line between acting
in a rush,
casual.
but, like,
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was freezing cold that day.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, like
So we go up the hill, and then there's a part of me is like, we kind of do this like often. And then also like, yeah, again, I'm here still thinking like Kyle's nervous about our family's meeting, hoping that it goes well. So I'm like, you know what, like maybe like this could be a proposal, but it could not be a proposal. Like we literally go up this hill all the time. This could be nothing. So I'm trying to like prepare myself for the possibility it's not happening. But then like going up the hill, like I'm going back and forth. Like I'm like weighing the like the facts, I guess. And like we get to the top of we get to a part of the hill where you like stop.
It's like the first checkpoint.
Yeah, like it's the first place where it's like flat and you can stand. It's
Yeah,
not like on the
it's not an incline.
Yeah.
Right.
We get there. We're looking out in the distance. I'm like waiting. Kyle's like, okay, like I'm ready to give you your like present. I think I have for you. And I'm like, there's nothing around here. Like it's fully dark. And again, like I always told Kyle, like I don't need anything special, but like that kind of did tip me off. I'm like, no, like I don't think this is my proposal. Kyle pulls out like a ceramic ornament
for a Christmas tree.
Yeah.
That has a photo of us on it.
Yeah, it was a photo of us. It's a very sweet gift. So at that point, I'm like, I'm not getting proposed to. Like that's all this was.
Yeah.
Kyle just wanted to bring me up here. He wanted to give me this Christmas ornament. It was still very sweet, like special spot. Like it's still a very sentimental gift. Yeah, and I was like, oh, I'm not getting proposed to. Like it was just for the ornament. And then Kyle's like, should we just go to the top? And at this, so at that point, I'm like, there's no way I'm getting proposed to. Like you already gave me the thing you wanted to give me.
Yeah.
So we start walking up to the top. Kyle also has like audio. Like he like recorded.
Yeah, I recorded the audio of this entire interaction or this entire event.
Yes, yeah.
From the
minute we got out of the car.
The minute we got out of the car, yeah.
Yeah. So we're walking up the hill, hand in hand.
Literally me like helping you up.
Yes, yeah. Like
it was like a little icy, right?
Yeah. It was crazy.
Yeah.
So I'm looking at my feet a lot because of how slippery it is. And then I look up and I'm like, what is that? Like I can see the lights. So because of our wonderful like friends, Nick and Telltale, there was like a whole setup where like it was lit up. It was lit up for the photos, it was lit up for the video. So there's just these lights there. I'm like, what is that? Like I could not piece together what it was. And I was like, I don't know. And then it kind of dawned on me, I don't actually think I got around to saying it out loud yet. I was literally about to say it out loud. I was like, I think someone's getting proposed to. Like, I think we're interrupting somebody's proposal.
Right.
It's just so funny how far off, like Kyle threw me off so many times that night that even that didn't give it away. At this point, I was just done guessing. I'm like, no, it's not happening today. But when I saw somebody else's lights, it didn't even occur to me it was mine. It was like, that's somebody else's proposal. Because I got thrown for a loop so many times.
Yeah.
I literally turned to look at Kyle to say, we should stop. I think this is somebody else's proposal. And Kyle's looking at me with this big smile on his face.
Yeah, like I'm not looking forward. I'm looking at her.
Looking at me, like waiting for, I guess, like for my to click in my brain.
Yeah.
And when I see him looking at me like that, like that's when it clicked.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, is that? And I was like, mine? And he was like, yeah.
Yeah.
And so then we walk up.
I was like, this is it, babe.
This is it, yeah. And then like I walk up, everything kind of comes into view. There's lights. There's a setup. There's like the marquee sign for like "Marry Me."
Yeah.
Like on that rock where we had our first date. Yeah, it was perfect.
Yeah. I'll throw the link to the video in the description.
Yeah. I actually thought I was about to get emotional like talking about it, but I cried that day. Like I cried as it was happening. I was emotional then.
Yeah.
But there's so many parts of like this experience of getting married that I thought I was going to be really emotional about, but I always just get so happy.
Yeah.
That like I am the kind of person who sometimes cries happy tears.
Yeah.
But other times I'm just like so excited, so happy, and like sometimes I just can't believe it's my life. Like some of those moments seem so surreal that like I can't believe it's happening to me. Like I think that's why I don't always happy cry like that because I almost can't believe it's happening to me.
Yeah. And
that was so in the moment I cried.
Right.
But when I look back on it, I'm like, wow, I can't believe that happened. Like that to me, like I don't know, like I've had a great life. Like I had a lot of like highs. But I think the highs of like our relationship, like I didn't experience romance until this relationship. And then it's just like I got hit like with all of it.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like the last 3 years have been like, it's just like, I feel like my life has been like a rom-com, and I had never had any of that before.
Yeah.
So like sometimes like I always like when things are happening to me, I'm like, I hope I remember this because I feel like I'm not like fully taking it in this moment. Like,
well, thankfully we've got a lot of videos and pictures.
Yeah, for real.
Along the way.
So yeah, like I cried, and I also remember I was like, for some of the photos, they're like, do you want to take your jacket off? Or do you want to keep it on? I was like, I'll take it off. I was like hot.
Yeah.
Like the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, I don't know how you were out there like in that temperature like without your jacket on. And I was like, I think it's just the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Like I thought I was going to be sick the next day. I didn't. But yeah, it was just crazy how, it's crazy like your physiological responses to like emotional moments.
Yeah.
We stay for like some photos, some video.
Yeah. I also like after you said yes, friends and family came out.
Yes, that was a surprise because when I first got up the hill, all I could see was
The lights and the camera crew.
yes,
Yeah.
Nick and Telltale, the lights. I didn't think there was anybody else there. I think I just didn't know what you were going to opt for. I didn't know if you were going to opt for like, you know, an intimate crowd or if you just wanted to do it like just us. So when I noticed someone was there, I was like, oh, Kyle just wanted to be just us.
Yeah.
And like I quickly like appreciated that too because there's beauty in that as well.
Yeah. And that moment was just us.
That moment was just us.
Right.
I do like that. I do like that. You actually planned that like so well. Because there is that.
Because they were off like in the distance. They
yeah.
weren't really that close.
Yeah. Yeah, we had that moment of privacy and intimacy where it's like just us and like, you know, capturing that moment. And then Kyle yells from the top of this hill. She said yes, and then that's when everybody came out.
That was the cue for them to come
and
celebrate with us.
Yeah.
It was beautiful. It went exactly how I wanted it to go.
Yeah.
We took the photos with everybody.
The photos turned out so nice.
Yeah, they did. They really did.
Same
with the video. The video, I love the video.
The video, everything turned out. I mean, they just did such a good job with the setup because, I mean, filming at night is tricky.
It is. Yeah.
I think they even said they brought a drone, but like it was just too close to the airport, so they couldn't use it.
Yeah.
But their setup was so good because, filming at night is so tricky, and they did such a good job. Everything looks so good. Okay, so proposal ended. We went to dinner with the fam. Well, so on the way back, Kyle is like just letting me in on his whole plan. Oh yeah. So like everything that he's. Yeah, I was very proud of. Everything. Obviously. Yeah. But it was so funny because like I remember seeing this on Instagram where it was like the most underrated part about an engagement or a proposal is like sitting there with a ring on your finger and your man telling you like everything that went behind the scenes. I remember one time during that ride, you were like, wait, did my parents know? And I was like, yeah. And you're like, that's crazy. Because I literally thought, I think I told Kyle, I was like, don't tell my mom because she won't be able to hide it from me. I knew I could trust your mom. She not intentionally. She's just like, she has a tell. And her tell is like, for example, like I am shook in retrospect that when I said I didn't want to get my nails done, she was like, okay. Because my mom's the kind of person to be like, no, you have to go get your nails done. And she would have given it away. But yeah, she's like, there was none of that on anybody's end. Laura almost gave it away. Did she? Actually, I don't know if I should, because I don't think she knows this. But she told me the week in which I should be getting my nails done. But then she played it off for the dinner. No, that's fine. She was like, but I was kind of like, whatever. I mean, like for the dinner. But I was also like super. The whole nails. Like I knew that was going to be a tell. Like when people were, saying, "Oh, we got to get your nails done." Like, I knew that you wanted your nails done, even though like I literally just found out that they weren't done. Yeah. But I knew like you had mentioned to me like just I want to make sure my nails are done. Yeah. That week. Yeah. Or whatever. Like, so close to it, yeah, because they were grown out, but it wasn't that bad. Yeah. Okay, so. But yeah, so Kyle's telling me all of the behind the scenes. Yeah. So everything like you guys just heard today on today's podcast, like that was divulged to me like on the drive there. I did like black out. Like I don't actually really remember. I kind of blacked out too. Like once I saw the setup, because I didn't know what it was gonna look like. Yeah. I gave instructions, but seeing it in person was a different story. Like I kind of had a out of body experience. Yeah, like. The setup was amazing. The signs, there was like rose petals. Yeah. Like they like I remember like again in retrospect like they let us know like the signs were staying up properly on the rocks, so we had to go get a blanket to like prop them up. Which thankfully I provided. Yeah. Because I wanted to make sure they could keep warm. Yeah. But then they just used it for the setup. Yeah, used it for the setup. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, so like the setup itself was beautiful, but then also like that spot is just so nice because you get like the city lights in the background. Yeah, the entire skyline. Yeah, so it was just such a beautiful setup. It was perfect. It was literally. Yeah, you get the skyline of like Mississauga, Brampton, Toronto, and I think even Vaughan. Like all from one spot. Yeah, it's awesome. Like it's just like this long horizon of lights, city lights. City lights, so nice. Yeah, so that just added to it too. Like that was just like decor in and of itself. Like so,
I think you already, I mean, my follow-up question to this would have been like, were you surprised? But
Yeah.
you were.
It's so funny because you were just like one, like, you know, detour essentially. You were it was just that one additional detour
Yeah.
that threw me off entirely.
Yeah.
Because I've been going back and forth the whole night.
Yeah.
And I think if it had it not been, I can't know for sure, but maybe had it not been for the ornament.
That was a critical piece.
Yeah.
That was the biggest misdirect.
Yeah, had it not been for the ornament, I think when I saw the lights, probably would have clued in a little sooner. I probably would have clued in that it was our proposal, or our engagement, and not somebody else's. If I had to guess, like that ornament was the one that was the nail in the coffin.
But
I was like, that was it. That was the point of this trip.
We talked about it like shortly after it happened, but I think you mentioned that you were like kind of disappointed at the point where I gave you the ornament.
I was, yeah.
Yeah, because you were thinking, this is it. This is the proposal. And then again, it was just like the final misdirect was like, oh no, it's just a gift.
Yeah.
It's just an ornament of our picture on it to commemorate like our second Christmas together.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I definitely was disappointed because, again, like the way I phrased, like it's the nail in the coffin. Like that was the last thing.
Yeah, because I remember when I gave it to you too. Like you weren't like that enthusiastic about it, but like it was. I was like, it's fine because it's not meant to be. You know
and it also probably made like from your perspective, like it probably meant like your plan was working.
It did, yeah. Because that was just a gift that I was going to give you on Christmas, like.
Yeah.
But then I was like, oh, I can use this.
Yeah. No, the misdirect was like it was pivotal, especially because again, like the way we spoke about it earlier, how we were not the couple to like leave this up to just like a huge surprise.
Yeah.
So because we talked about it, you know, it comes up in conversation like, oh, like it kind of ruins the surprise. Again, like when people used to say that, like I'm like that just doesn't resonate with me. Like this is not something I wanted to be surprised about. We were actually talking about this the other day, just the two of us, totally separate topic, but when I don't know things, like I assume the worst. So if I'm being totally honest, if I didn't know you, like if you hadn't told me, hey, I'm going to propose this year, like or even if we didn't talk about like our timeline for getting engaged and getting married, if we had never talked about it, like I would be in limbo, and I'm the kind of person to be like it's never happened.
It's never happening. Yeah.
I would have self-sabotaged and like, you know, like I probably would have thought.
I don't think you would have self-sabotaged. If anything, it just would have been brought up.
Well, that's what I mean. Like I would have to bring it up.
Yeah.
Like I'm the kind of person who would have to talk about it, have to like have some sort of verbal confirmation.
Yeah.
Some sort of commitment. Because if not, then I'm the kind of person who'll be like if they're not bringing it up, it's like not on their mind. Like I mean, like I would have self-sabotaged if it was like I'm talking about like polar opposite of what we actually do.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Like just gone the route of I'm just not the kind of person who does well with like uncertainty and like surprises and stuff, especially with such a big thing. So yeah, like whenever people said like, oh, well, like now you won't be surprised, it just didn't resonate with me at all. I didn't care to be surprised, but because of the way you went about it, and I was surprised. Like you surprised me in the only way you could have, essentially.
Yeah.
But like, so like it's amazing that it was successful because like that was the only, I guess, opportunity left to surprise me.
No, I get it. I mean, I give all the credit to God because I like it just went way better than I thought it would have, especially given the struggles that I had leading up to the proposal itself.
Yeah, like no judgment about like that, like of it being like left, like some things being left to the last moment because as you mentioned earlier, there was like factors like out of your control.
Yeah.
But yeah, considering you had to like, you know, solidify all the details and confirm all the details in such a short time period.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it's like you're right. Like it probably like God definitely had his hand in it.
Yeah, 100%. Thanks for tuning in. This was just the first half of a 2-part conversation. We've got even more to share in part 2, so be sure to stay tuned.